Welcome to A Comic Book Look, your weekly TV show on comic books and anything relating to comics. I am your host, Tom, and this is my co-host, Jon. We're back again for another edition of The Comic Book Look. This is issue number 8. We got a pretty good topic, I think, that is going to show the diversity between us very well.
Absolutely.
So what are we going to talk about
today, Jon? We're going to talk about basically what drives Tom and I to purchase what we purchase in terms of the books on a weekly, monthly basis, what we read and why. We're quite different on that, and I think that might be kind of the basis of where the show even came from, because we used to like haggle at work, and it was pretty entertaining. For now you guys get to watch it every week.
Exactly, but this is, it's why we were buying comic books. I normally buy comic books following the creators that are making the comic books. Jon normally follows comic books because of the characters, the teams that are in the comic books. Yep. So that's the big topic today: following creators or following characters. Yep. I guess the reason I follow creators is because I think I'll maybe have more of an idea of what I'm going to get, if I like this person that draws it, or maybe if I like this certain creator that wrote the book, then maybe I've known what they've done in the past and I will like this. I believe that there's no there's no worst character. I think if any character, there has to be a writer out there that can
make it shine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even if it's a character you hate, let's take a perfect example, Shatterstar. Horrible character, becoming into X Factor now. Yep. Awesome character.
Yep.
Just an absolutely awesm character. When he was in the 90s, he was horrible.
Oh my god.
Well, he was. And, that's, is kind of shows the difference,
sure,
I guess. But I love certain creators. I follow certain creators. I get a hold of new books through other creators that I like this art, so I buy this book. I still try different things, and I do still follow certain things like, a lot of comic creators. But, why do you follow comics?
Honestly, exactly like you said, I follow comics. I just started out, like I said, I think we talked about this on our Facebook page. My first comic ever was X-Men issue 42, I believe, The Fall of Avalon. And I actually, I grew up on X-Men 90s cartoon. That's kind of what got me going. So I got interested in it, read it. I got a big run of X-Men and Uncanny X-Men, X-Force with Shatterstar in it. But I get attached to these characters, and I'm kind of like, God, where are they going to be next issue? Where are they going to be 20 issues from now? Kind of thing. And now that I have these big, the big runs of Uncanny and stuff, I get a little interested in what's happened in the past when they reference things. They're really good at that, see issue 319, Uncanny X-Men. Well, what happened? I'm going to go check it out, because I just enjoy doing that every once in a while. And, when we get those free comic book days and they're, a little discount on the back issues, that's a good opportunity for me, and I definitely jump it head first. I love seeing character growth and development. I love teams. I love history. Just kind of staying involved with it. And absolutely X-Men, Alpha Flight, X-Force, anything really. And I'm actually aiming to extend that into the DC universe with the jump coming up, with all those number ones. Look what I picked up, a little freebie. We were actually just talking about this too. The Justice League itself is a book I probably am going to go ahead and start picking up, but I turned the page and lo and behold, Justice League International, how sweet is that? And some of the characters actually look really interesting, so I think I found 2 books from DC that I'm going to be picking up.
And that's just the first 2 pages.
That's just the first 2 pages. I got a lot of flipping to do in here, and I haven't even got a chance to read my stack yet. Cutting back on some of the Marvel titles, unfortunately, on that, because, money doesn't grow on trees in most states anyways. So,
yeah, for sure. I think, with me following creators, with you following, the characters, continuity plays such a strong part in what you're looking at, the history of comics, as I think that's why you stick to Marvel so much, and why, I have branched to these other different places, is because the ones you love are Marvel comics. And so, I would say the majority of comic book creators are exactly like that. They buy comics because they love characters. I mean, I wouldn't say that is wrong in any way. Like how you follow comics is not wrong in any way. That's how most people, I would say, follow comics. The numbers say it all. I mean, let's say one of the biggest selling titles, like Avengers, sells tons and tons of books. The guy who writes it, Brian Michael Bendis, very famous comic book writer, but he can't transition those sales into an indie book that he has, like Scarlet or something that, people will read Scarlet and Powers and he'll sell a lot and he'll make a lot of money off that because there's some, marketing and paying a publisher or paying, higher publisher like Marvel. But he's still not going to sell those numbers because if you're the guy who goes into the comic shop sometimes, are you going to buy something that's called Powers? Oh, what's that? Or are you going to buy, hey, I love Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm buying this. Oh man, there's 5 Batman books. Oh, which one should I get?
Yeah. Don't you hate that? Ugh.
Yeah.
It's got to be confusing for the average Joe going in there. I mean, you really got to know what you want to read, I guess, because they're so diverse.
I guess how did you, when you started reading comics again, kind of, I guess what was that, 4 years ago now already? Or 3 years ago probably at Wells Fargo where you started picking up titles again. How did you pick up the titles that
honestly,
you chose?
I mean, well, we don't. You sure you want to talk about
yeah, God, I forgot.
Anything that had the dark ring at the top was what I was picking up. But, because I remember, I think we were just talking about comics, and I was like, I used to read, X-Men, and you're like, oh, because I think you had the Utopia crossover or something. And
yeah, I had.
Avengers are badass, and
yeah, that's exactly. I think it was a little bit even maybe before that.
Leading up to it, maybe, or something. And I was like, oh my god, this is great, and I just jumped in head first.
Because I got the last 12 issues of Uncanny. Is what I remember it did. That's what it was.
Right, because they had the sister and people like Lady Deathstrike and some of those the chicks ganged up on the X-Men.
You're like, I like X-Men, so I brought just the last 12 issues of X-Men, and then... Yeah. And then, so that's where you got into Dark Avengers, Dark Reign, where you picked up...
The guys at the comic book store hated me. I was like, do you guys have issue 2 yet? Because I asked them to order it, and it took a while to get issue 2, but, and that one's actually a really high-valued issue. It's cool. I love the cover on it, so... We'll put it up here for you. I actually have it framed hanging on my wall. Maybe I'll put that up on there.
Of course you do.
No. And cover 1, too. But anyways, no, I mean, that's where I jumped on, and was that did I answer your question?
Yeah, oh, definitely, yeah. I just kind of forgot, how it works. Just, I as well. I mean, when I started picking up comics, I picked up, I had my daughter, I, hadn't been picking up comics weekly yet by any means, and then I got bored at night. I always liked comic books in graphic novel form, and, just the ones that I had around the house, and the ones I collected when I was a kid. And then I went back and, of course, just started picking up Uncanny, Fantastic Four, and then kind of just went from there. And Batman, just titles that I will, always read. And so that's, also how I got back into comics. But then once I started, getting all those titles, I found the titles that I liked, and I found the creators that I liked. I have a very specific list of, probably the top creators that if it says their name on it, I will buy it.
To check it out.
Even if it's not that good, I'll probably buy it for a few more issues just to, at least give them an arc or a couple arcs, which always usually pans out, and I usually sticking with it. The books that I wanted to talk about are, the creators that I want to talk about. The newest one to my list, which, people come or go all the time, but is Scott Snyder. Scott Snyder right now, writing detective. We talked about him before. He's going to be writing Batman. He's going to be writing Swamp Thing. He's absolutely awesome. He's writing American Vampire. He has Severed over at Image. Everything he writes is well thought about, well planned, and so well executed that right now, even though he's pretty fresh on the scene, he's a guy that I am always going to buy comics from with his name on until, he shows me that he can't do it. So he is the first creator I bring up because he could still be taken off this list. It's just that he hasn't done anything bad yet for me to do that. Another person that is, another recent addition would be, BKV, Brian K. Vaughan. Why the Last Man, Runaways, Pride of Baghdad. It is
That's a good one.
I mean, he's just so good. Everything he does. He'll have that new Saga book coming out. We talked about it a little bit the last issue, and I mean, anything he puts out, I want to buy. One that is with most people, but I guess I shouldn't say most people. Everybody knows his name. Everybody knows he's done awesome things, but probably not everybody buys everything he does. Is Warren Ellis. This is Super God. I mean, there's tons of just these Avatar books he puts out, and I buy every single one. I usually enjoy every single one too. Warren Ellis is just, he's from Planetary, and you know the work he did on Authority and other things like that. He has made it so he has a free pass in my book.
Just in case.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just like anything he writes, even if he does bad, I'm still going to pick up the next thing. Another one is Grant Morrison. Like, this is an old Frankenstein book talking about the new Frankenstein coming in, the new DC. I just picked this off of a whim because I wasn't reading Seven Soldiers. I was reading the main Seven Soldiers because he was writing it, but the Grant Morrison, the Frankenstein, I just picked up just because he was writing it. Grant Morrison, he writes Batman, and he did a long run on X-Men as well.
Sweet.
And so, but yeah, he's I think Scottish, and he's a rock star in the comic book community, and he's the last 4 years on Batman, and he's had long runs on Animal Man, and he's the king of like extremely long runs with overarching stories and very confusing out there shit, and some of it is just unreadable because it's so out there. Another one is probably someone you've heard of, Alan Moore.
Okay.
Alan
I
Moore?
recognize that name.
Oh, come on.
No, I do recognize that name.
Of course you do. He's the biggest. He wrote Watchmen and V for Vendetta, From Hell. This is Tom Strong, another awesome book that he wrote that's basically Doc Savage, best Doc Savage stories around. And then another one I want to throw in is from Japan, Naoki Arasawa. He writes Monster, Pluto, 20th Century Boys. It's the most intelligent writing. Everything I've ever read from him is absolutely beyond what we get here in America. He just blows it away, and I guess he has a whole bunch of other things that still need to be translated for us, and I just can't wait. I pick everything he has up as it comes out. But word, man. So, yeah.
I think we should do a show sometime on international comics.
Yeah.
Just to kind of do a comparison and kind of see what we get out of it. And it'd be a good chance for me to read more new stuff. So.
For sure, I do too. I've really been getting into a lot of, I've been into a little bit of, the manga through other people online, but even just anime recently. I've loved watching it with my brother when he comes into town at the Inveterate Media Junkies site. Jose, one of the guys who runs it, is just, he knows how to pick through the crap and just give you the best stuff. So, check out their site. They always have talking about new manga to read and new anime to watch. It's absolutely amazing. But yeah, I mean, I'm into a lot of different things. France has tons of great comics. 2000 AD in England. So yeah, that's a great idea for a show. We'll have to do that sometime. But yeah, so do you want to run through your stack?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then kind of, just talk about why.
Yeah, no problem.
What's the tie-in?
The tie-in. Well, basically, and it's interesting, we were talking a little bit, but, I touched on quality and everything, and honestly, I am proud of myself. Today I did not buy Venom Spider Island. I told him at the comic store, I love the symbiote, but when it comes to the quality of the book, it just fell off for me the past all issues of it. The whole run, it was I mean, there were a few cool moments. Nice. Oh, this is where the symbiote's at, but I wasn't, it's not capturing me as a reader. And one thing that Tom is actually helping me with is to expect quality, not just going for, because Venom's on the cover kind of thing. So I've reduced today's pickup list to only 6 titles, and there were actually 9 that I was eyeing. So of course we got T-Bolts, staple in itself, love the team, kind of excited to see what's going on. Tom actually has that in his stack too, so I can't go wrong with that one. DC, of course, Titans, my favorite.
Dude, it's your thing though,
it's
man.
my
That's
thing,
fine.
right? And it's
Exactly.
It's actually. I mean, it's got to come to a close soon with the jump, you know, coming up. So I kind of just want to. I've been reading it for a while. I love the team. They're just so diverse and kind of just, you know, it's the, kind of a Watchmen feel almost, because like the what's his name, the drug addict character. Arsenal. Yeah, like he's in there and he's just, you know, it's real people, real problems. I love real comics, and so it's just something. It's new for me, but I really am liking that, and I am excited to pick up the Justice League and Justice League International, because those are 2 DC titles I intend on getting.
So Titans, why did you pick up Titans? I mean, what?
I've been reading it for a while, and I mean the story's just getting insane because the team, it's so treacherous. Like it makes
like who's on the team that you think that
crazy?
Just like you love Deathstroke. Oh yeah, Deathstroke. That's the...
No, I love Deathstroke. You got Cinder on there. I'm kind of curious because she's just like her own agenda. Then you got the Tattooed Man. Awesome character. He's got like scorpions and skulls coming off of him, and barbed wire and dragons. Like anything that's tattooed on him comes out in purple energy, and tangible purple energy for that matter. So everyone's just kind of at everyone's throats, and I'm just kind of
loving it.
For me, I'm hooked. Like I just want to see like what happens with it, and kind of transition into the jump coming up. I didn't see another Titans, you know, so I just kind of want to see
it.
Dude,
heck yeah, man. I love it.
You think it's going to be good?
I don't know. I didn't read the second one.
X-Men Schism book 3.
This is 3. I didn't read the second one.
Book 2 was just kind of the only reason I'm reading this is because I love the X-Men, so...
Yeah, I guess
I guess I can't preach too much on quality on this one. I hope it's a good one, because issue 1 was just awesome, because I enjoyed it.
Did you like issue 2? I guess I didn't.
I
like overall.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it overall. No, but I'm kind of excited because the Hellfire Club's in it, you know. And
what's the big, like they were like it's the game changing? What do you know? Like, has it explained what is the big changer for in the X-Men, or what is it gonna?
Just a lot of tension and.
What is it gonna like change? I mean, is somebody gonna? Is it? They'll look like somebody's gonna die or something, or what?
Probably just gonna split into 2 teams in 2 different directions. You know, you got Wolverines, Kick-Ass approach, and you got Cyclops, Boy Scout. You know, X-Men and X-Men. I don't know. But anyways, we'll kind of see how that series wraps up here in the next couple months. Up next, we got X Factor. We talked about Shatterstar earlier. Great character. We're actually going to be meeting Rain's kid here coming up. So I'm kind of curious to see where that goes. Interesting. Second to last here, I got Avengers Academy. Love this book from start to finish so far. The characters, I mean, when I first picked it up, is this going to be corny? Is this going to be weird? Another teeny bopper thing? Negatory. The characters are awesome. It's just development. You know, they were worried that these kids were going to turn into supervillains, and they're just learning, you know, the lessons of being superheroes. But just some of the recent events and Fear itself, the crossovers, this series rocks. Okay, so check it out.
I agree. I haven't read them for a little bit because, you know, I've been reading. I read your copies, and then, but these. I mean, who would have thought that this book would have still be around on issue 18?
Right.
Avengers Academy, all new characters. Almost are they? They maybe are. Some of them were originated before, but mostly all brand new characters.
Yeah.
I mean, so do you think there's any characters you're kind of attached to in this team that would drive you to buy another book if they move to it?
You know, honestly, I am a big fan of Metal and Hazmat, and the reason is they're kind of the outcasts of the team. You know, Hazmat's stuck in that suit, but she can hang around with Metal because Metal can't really get hurt by her radioactive.
Oh, yeah, the love.
So
are they falling in love?
A little holding hands here and there, you know, but honestly, I mean, just the characters are just so different. Dare I call them a team? Not at this point, just because everyone's kind of like, got their own agenda, you know, but great read. If you haven't started reading it yet, check it out, borrow it from a friend, whatnot, just get your hands on it and read it, because it's great. Last but not least, I got Uncanny X-Men. This is issue 542, so again, I love this. I love this series. It's had its highs and lows, as any run with 500 issues would.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, no names mentioned. But it's, we'll kind of see what's going on here with this one. I haven't read any of these yet, so I can't really give them all praise. I'm excited to read them, though, but yeah, it's a good day. But yeah, I kind of turned my back on some of the other things. A lot of the Fear itself, you know, one-shots or mini-series, I'm not going to do those like I did with Dark Reign. Too much money and just not enough bang for the buck, so...
Agreed. I mean, you're never going to want to probably reread those, you know, later. A couple of quick, you know, anomalies that I have when it comes to following creators over comics is Zatanna. I mean, I'll pick up anything with her in it. Like, here's a Power Girl issue. She's on the cover, so yeah, it grabbed my attention. I got it. Power Girl 23. I picked up Power Girl during Paul Minotti and Gray's run, and I like Power Girl, and I kind of pick her up from time to time anyway, but since it had Zatanna, I picked it up. Fantastic Four, here's the final issue. You know, it's sad to see the change in FF to our, you know, Fantastic Four to the transition to Future Foundation. But, you know, I just always will pick up that. Another one I follow for, you know, the anomaly is this one. I mean, Cypher is in this book. This is the new, the new Mutants. Yep. And I just will pick up anything with Cypher in it. That's just cool simply stated. I love him.
And it's pretty cool.
Oh, exactly. I end up liking everybody else, but that's just because I have the connection that I like him so much. And DNA is writing it, and so they always put on a good one. Uncanny, always read that. A character that's recently Blue Beetle. I've just loved Blue Beetle recently. So I mean, anything I'm gonna pick up the new one whenever he's in a book. I pick it up. You know, Generation Lost, and you know, he was in that book and so anything. Sometimes though, creators that you really like disappoint you, and I don't believe that there's any one creator if they can always write something good. Like
you're gonna have your
Robert Kirkman writes Walking Dead. I try to pick up everything he gets, but then I read Super Dinosaur, and I mean, it wasn't that good. I thought, oh, maybe it's just me, maybe it's a kid's book. I read it to my 4-year-old daughter. Halfway through, she was like, "Can we go do something else?" And I mean, it wasn't for me. So, you know, I didn't pick up issue number 2. Where then there's some books that you pick up because you like the creator, like Atlas, Jeff Parker, who writes Thunderbolts and everything. I went back and got these issues because I liked who it was. G.I. Joe, I don't like, you know, you know, not like a huge fan of G.I. Joe, but I heard people talking about how it was good at that certain time, so I said, like I said, no bad creators, no bad characters. You know, this could be really good. It end up, you know, this is an issue from, you know, Costa, who I've talked about before, but is just going to be one of the biggest names, or should be, coming out here with Blackhawks on that new title. A lot of other ones are John Layman. John Layman is awesome. This Chew book is so good, but I mean, I've read, you know, he had like a Bullseye like one shot or something, and it wasn't very good because, you know, that just can happen. I mean, all writers can write amazing books, and even Alan Moore can write a crappy book. I mean, remember, he did Image. Those early, you know, Image books were horrible, even when Alan Moore was writing them. Yes, he dolled them up a little bit and made them a little bit better, but, you know, not everybody can write a 5-star book every single time. But, you know, in my attitude, if it's a really good artist or a really good writer, I just feel like I owe it to them to pick it up because they got me so excited before.
Yeah, and it's just great to see how they take your favorite character, or maybe a new character, how they take them for a drive, how they present them, how they write it. Absolutely, I completely understand that.
Exactly. All right, man. Well, thank you so much. Another great issue of a comic book look.
You know, we're getting some serious emails, and YouTube and Facebook still blowing up. And if you're not in that group on Facebook, look us up, A Comic Book Look. And yeah, I just kind of post random stuff on there. Tom does. You know, got some Batman movie clips on there. Yeah. Right now we're talking about the Batwing and Catwoman, and just random topics. That's what it is, and that's where the best discussions come from. Send us an email if you'd like. If you have anything you want to see on the show, absolutely. Suggestions are always welcome. That's why we're here. Email us at acomicbooklook@gmail.com. YouTube us, of course, at A Comic Book Look to check out past issues if you're just jumping on board with us now. And absolutely.
Yeah, and then if you're looking for other great places to talk about comics, go to Inveterate Media Junkies .com. They let us embed our video in their open thread, our open thread. You know, they don't have to do that. So thanks Jose and Ian for letting us do that. And check out Inveterate Media Junkies if because we're getting a lot of hits off even Comic Vine, CBR, other places I put it out. Check out this other site. It's really worth it. Check out our Facebook and send us an email. We want to hear from you.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, guys.
We'll see you next week.